Hey guys, in this session, we're going to be looking at surds and fractional powers, but also index form as well. So just to give you an idea of what I mean by surd form. So surd form is when you actually have the square root symbol, all right? Now, this could be written in index form, or we actually call it fractional powers as well. So anytime you have a square root symbol, it's the same thing as saying a to the power of half, okay? So if you are kind of like skeptical about it, what we could do is we can kind of have a look at it in the calculator. So we know that square root of 25 is actually equal to 5. And if you do 25 to the power of 1 over 2, then you also get 5. All right, so as you guys can see, square root of 25 and 25 to the power of half is the same thing. So it's just another way of writing it. And I guess it's kind of, if you think about x, right? Like when you have x by itself, we know that this is the same thing as saying x to the power of 1 or 1 times x to the power of 1 as well. So what the square root symbol actually has is this 2 and 1 actually comes from there. Okay, so that's where that 1 and 2 comes from. Let me just kind of redo that. So there's your x to the power of 1, so that's going to be 1. And then there is your power of 2, which means that's where it comes to being power of 2. So let's have a look at examples. So say, for example, I want to find out the fifth root of x squared. Then in terms of writing this as a fractional power or in index form, this is going to look like, sorry, I meant fifth. So I should have actually put a 5 there. So that means this is going to look like x to the power of 2 and over 5. Okay, and if we have it with letters, so say for example, if we have something like this where m to the power of p, and we want to find the q root of it, then this would equal to m, and p actually ends up being in the top and q ends up being in the denominator. I should have used small q. So yeah, that's basically what surds in fractional powers means. So let's have a look at a couple of examples where we actually transfer from surd to index and then the other way as well. Okay, let's see if this works. Paste. So what I've got here, guys, is I've actually got 3 questions here. And I'm just going to write them in index form and some of them in surd form. So let's have a look at the first question here. So we've got square root of x to the power of 16. So this could be rewritten as x to the power of 16. And remember that there is an actual 2 there. So this is going to be ending up 16 divided by 2, which of course ends up being x to the power of 8. All right. So another quick way to remember that is that if you take a square root of a square number, then the powers actually just get halved. Second example, we've got a to the power of 4, and then because it's the cube root, we're going to put that as over 3. And as for the second example, notice how the 2 is actually outside the square root symbol, so we're going to write this as 2 multiplied by p to the power of 7 over 4. Okay, so nothing really happens. Don't actually do 2 times 4 is 8. It doesn't work like that. That 2 is completely separate from the square root symbol. Okay, so let's have a look at how to write things in surd form. So we've got a to the power of 2 over 3. So that means I actually write down a squared, and then I put the square root symbol, but instead of leaving it empty, I make sure I put a 3 inside of it. As for the second example, I actually have 7 outside, so I'm going to leave 7 outside as it is, but I'm going to put x cubed and make sure that that 4 actually ends up going here. And yes, you can put a little multiplication symbol there or just leave it as it is as well. And now looking at the next example. Now this one is, I'll particularly put this example for a reason, all right? So what we have is we've actually got a bracket. When you have a bracket, it follows the same rules as what we did with exponents before. So remember that 16 actually has a power of 1. So what ends up happening is you've got 16 to the power of 1 times a quarter multiplied by p to the power of a quarter. Now 16 times quarter, 1 times quarter is just going to be quarter like that, and p to the power of a quarter can be written as like this, p1 and 4. All right. Now we can do the same thing for 16, but we actually know what the fourth root of 16 is. All right. And this is where knowing your exponential numbers comes really handy. What I mean by that is because remember, when you have 2 to the power of 1, it's 2, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So when you have 16 to the power of a quarter, what you are looking for is 16 as it is, and you're looking for the fourth root. So this is multiplied by, I don't really need to write the P1, I'm just going to leave it as just P, but I do need to write the 4 inside of it. Now the fourth root of 16, we can kind of see that it actually equals to 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this as 2 multiplied by the fourth root of P. Now just in case you're not confident with that, what you can actually do is you can actually use your calculator for it. So you can actually go 16 to the power of 1 over 4. And when you do that, you actually get 2. Alright guys, so that's basically it for this short little video here. Hopefully it kind of helps you guys how to navigate with index form and surd form.